Shalom, first and foremost, all praise and glories unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, double honor to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, elect. Shalom unto you. Your brother Shaquat would have trying to keep this as concise and time efficient as possible, which I'm going to read a couple precepts, but mainly I'll quote some, but I'm going to show a few videos tying in what's all going in and what comes to mind when you in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in prophecy. Okay, starting with this one, Joel 3, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Okay, and so that's what's going on. Now I'm gonna jump around this chapter. The whole chapter goes well, but for interest of time, I'll just kind of breeze through. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong, building up their military, from agricultural to military. That's what a lot of smaller nations have done to protect themselves against America. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves. These are, when it says Gentiles and heathen, that's the other nations, okay? And gather yourselves together round about. Thither call thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. And that's where the other part of this video will add in, okay? Because this, I'm going to play what Pete Hegseth a few days back ordered everybody to Quantico. Without further ado, I'm going to play that. Dabu 7.
This is Dabu 7. We have a lot of attention turning to Pete Hegseth in the Pentagon today, summoning hundreds of generals and admirals for this urgent meeting. Of course, they're not saying what it's for. But we have a senior Pentagon correspondent saying they've never seen nothing like this in the...
Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is not for monetary gain or value, simply for entertainment and educational purposes.
Past 30 years. This points to going to big war. Everyone should prepare. They're about to do something massive. It's rather obvious at this point, everything that they've done surrounding Venezuela. And you've got to remember that Rubio just came out and admitted yesterday that regime change is the goal in Venezuela. They did all the staging, acting like they were going to go after narco-terrorists and this and that. Now, the cat's out the bag, and we kind of knew this already. They're going after Maduro. They're also going to be striking cartels from Venezuela all the way up through Mexico, up to our southern border. This is why, on day one of Trump's presidency, he declared a national emergency. It was over the cartels and all these gangs that are running around out there. People couldn't understand why at first. Well, it's because they knew that whenever they got to this point, it was going to be absolutely huge. So they made sure on day one, they put us into emergency mode. Here we are months and months and months later, people still asking why. Well, I think we're about to see why. We just had military jets scrambled off the coast of Alaska to intercept Russian jets as well. These things all happening in the same window. Of course, tension rising around Ukraine. Trump calling out Putin and flip-flopping on the whole thing, going the opposite way and saying that he believes everyone should be able to shoot down Russian jets if they're in their airspace. After he says that, they come into ours. Or really close to it nonetheless. This is something to watch big time. I'm going to tell you guys, prepare for a war to break out and to break loose that comes right up to our doorstep. It looks like all the signals are there. I'll update on X as I get more information.
Okay. So what is he talking about? War. Big war. Matter of fact, to quote it, it's in Revelation, the 11th chapter. Yeah. Let me go to the 9th chapter. 11th chapter, 14th verse of Revelation said, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that's World War III. The third woe. Okay? It's coming quickly. It's prophetic. Okay? This has to go down according to what the Heavenly Father's talking about. And all the players, from Ezekiel the 38th chapter are involved. All right? Everybody's involved, man. The northern armies, okay? All of this is happening. All right? Magog and all of that, man. All right? Babylon the Great, Okay, now it gets deeper with more videos. So this is when they got there. This is what Hegseth himself has said when he was there. Now this is just a piece of it, but some of you've seen this and you get the gist of what he's talking about. He's telling them that, hey, you guys, we've been just doing all this other type of war, but you guys got to get sharp. America's lackadaisical right now. All right, our track record of winning these wars ain't as great as you think. We're not as dominant as we proclaim we are. Yeah, we got nukes, but there's other people with nukes too, and their armies are locked in. Trump building up the White House and the Grand Ballroom and all of that. Hey, because America looks like like an American city. It reflects an America, and how terrible this is compared to the rest of the world, where people are keeping up with their stuff. Okay, them plowshares and all of that, they've been keeping up with their people, so they're not fat and out of shape like he's about to call a bunch of American soldiers, warriors, if you will. They already changed the name to the Department of War from the Department of Defense. All right, let's see what he says.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular hard PT,
and he did. There's a video of him and I can't think of his name, the health guy with the shaky voice. You know, I can't think of his name. But yeah, it escapes me. But I can see it. Not Paul. Is it Paul? One of those guys. I can't think of his name, but yeah, Kennedy. I can't think of his name. But yeah, let me look it up because it won't bother me. Robert Kennedy. Okay, we won't even talk about that. I don't know why that's popping up, but this is the guy now. Okay, they're in there doing push-ups, sit-ups, and you know, and all of that.
Joint force. Frankly, Secretary of War can do regular hard PT. So can every member of our joint force.
Hey, he went hard. He went hard in there. He went to failure, you know.
Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. It should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve.
Okay.
It all starts with...
He goes on. I'm going to see if I can grab another video about the grooming policies. Let's see if I can find that. Okay, here we go.
No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join Special Forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos. The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet the male-level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position.
Period, point blank, right? And so, yeah, I'll sum it up with this. Okay, and all the while, matter of fact, let me grab that. But all the while, all this is going on, we've had, I'll just show it. All the leaders of the world walk out on Bibi Netanyahu. Okay? Walk right out on him. Okay, because they see what he's doing. And it doesn't actually make sense. And actually, Jake breaks it down pretty good.
Bad news. Good news is the world finally sticking up. Bad news is if you live in America like me, we on the wrong side of things. America and Israel tied in like this. Meanwhile, the rest of the world walked completely out on him as soon as he got introduced to talk at the UN.
And they're going to show this now. And here's the point. The least of the flock shall draw them out is a scripture. I have made these small and despised among the nations. Okay? And greatly despised, I believe it says, right? This is I made these small among the heathen and greatly despised. These are precepts that come to mind when we see all this happening, but you gotta see where it all geopolitically ties in. Okay? And Jake gonna break it down, make it simple.
Order in the hall. Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall, and please be seated. Order in the hall.
We just seen all the world leaders come together, showing off all their military power, and everybody was there except him and Trump.
Okay, all the world showed off their military power. Why? Prepare ye war. Okay, this is prophecy coming to pass. Unless if you're not seeing this in the news and you're not getting it, hey, go back watching, what Cardi B said or what what's her name, Nicki Minaj said about Cardi B. Who cares? Okay, go back to your entertainment section in the news. Okay, because prophecy is huge, man, and it will affect you. Also, while this is going on, the government shut down at midnight. While we were holding the Day of Atonement, the government shut down. Which I saw a video that a soldier was saying, hey, I still got to go to work, whether we're getting paid or not. Some of us have Navy Federal, so we'll still be getting our money, up front, and then they'll when the government opens back up, they'll pay them back. But others that don't have Navy Federal, SOL. Or I forgot the name of the other one. It's a soldier's credit union type thing. But let's finish this.
The rest of the world is clearly showing that they're not messing with us and they're not messing with them. And the rest of the world know what we know. America's the one funding Israel. In fact, Israel is like our little puppet masters. They call the shots and we do whatever they say. And it was just a matter of time. Like, you've been bombing away for 2 years straight. They did one attack 2 years ago, and you decide to just end the whole people. And the whole thing is, y'all not even from there. And the rest of the world knows this. The Middle East knows this. Y'all might can trick Americans in thinking that y'all used to live in Palestine and used to be there and y'all guys chosen people. No, that's not true. Y'all are Europeans, and y'all came in 1948 and stole the land and been genociding them ever since. Good news and bad news.
Okay, so you put it straight, put it plain. Okay, and this man has been revealed, and it's not the only one. It's all you Edomites. But they're the chief house of the Edomites, Amalek. Okay? So all this is stirring up. And so America knows, hey, we got all this military. We've doubled the spending of everybody else combined. We spend double. Okay? Because we don't care about nothing else. But pillage, if you were building yourself to be a great warrior or fighter, how concerned are you really about your appearance and your hygiene? And you're not concerned about that. And how nice your clothes, your wardrobe. You're not worried about that. You know, you're like John Rambo. You're eating off the land and you just in the forest just doing shit, man. This is America. The hammer of the earth, as the scripture calls it. Okay? How they cut asunder. This is what's going on. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. This place is done too much. They've reached deeper into witchcraft on the left-hand side. All right? So let me go back into more videos.
Mr. Abrams also challenged me, saying that China's military buildup is a challenge, a threat to our neighboring countries. I told him point blank, no country in China's neighborhood is a match against China in terms of military power. China's military buildup is a matchup against only one country, that is the United States. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. Woo. Mr. Abrams also challenged.
Right? He ain't talking out the side of his neck. All right? So it must be understood what's going on. Okay? This is war. And this is what is prophesied in the scriptures. And America loses this war. All right? America loses this war. And it will be a nuclear war. Okay? How else do you have the lake of fire? All right? Scenario that takes place over here, and how is Babylon the Great thrown down? Okay? The merchants look over and sigh bitterly at America. Okay? Now, there's one other element to this whole world's war. All right? And I just saw this video. I'm going to try to grab it and add it in. Actually, I'll add this in real quick, then I'll add that last something.
Subsequent to his little military meeting earlier this week, the generals berated by Donald Trump have started to privately turn on him, and this could spell any number of disasters. Even I didn't see this one coming.
Now, even though this is what I heard, I did hear someone else, because this is like the leftist perspective on it, right? But I heard another perspective on it from somebody right-wing, which was like, their perspective seemed to be right-wing at least. But what they said was, it was actually right in line. This is how they follow orders. They gave, man, I'm going to try to find that one. They gave allegiance. I'm going to see if I can find that one, though. That one's good. So let me play this, and then I'll try to find that one as well. Because it goes together, and then I'll add that other element to it. Another element, right?
Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. In case you wound down the month of September on vacation or in bed with the covers pulled over your head while eating a box of Velveeta, and given everything that happened in September, who could blame you? You may have missed that on Tuesday, drunken Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called an enormous meeting of American generals in Quantico, Virginia. The reason? To tell them to prepare to occupy American cities and embrace a warrior ethos. As if a draft dodger like Trump and an inebriate like Hegseth somehow understand that idea better than a room full of career military men. Take a look at what Hegseth had to say.
This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair, superficial individual
Fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay.
expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join special forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know how many generals you've seen sporting a mullet or a pompadour, but it doesn't seem to be that big an issue. And even if it somehow was, it doesn't seem like it's affecting military preparedness. And it gets even more bizarre and embarrassing, so stick around. Hegseth made it known that he likes a smooth, clean-shaven man who won't let himself go. Do you suppose he talks to women the same way, including any number of women he's impregnated, married, cheated on, and divorced? In no particular order, of course. Or does he just tell that to the boys after a few drinks? Use your imagination. Let's move on. Not content to let Hegseth become the only national embarrassment, Trump took to the stage to deliver a meandering and low-energy screed.
And people other than politicians that look bad, they think, the Democrats run most of the cities that are in bad shape. We have many cities in great shape, too, by the way. I want you to know that. But it seems that the ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places. And we're going to straighten them out. It'll be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
Now, before we go any further, I must point out that Trump is actually calling for war there. War on American citizens. It is not the duty of the military to battle with Americans, nor is it their objective.
Okay, so you can go and watch the rest of this, guys. I think you got it all right here. Occupy Democrats and all of that. I had another video that tells another perspective of the same situations. Here we go.
Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
The gathering of America's top generals and admirals at the U.S. Marine Base in Quantico, Virginia today was extraordinary, and what they heard from their commander-in-chief and their Secretary of Defense, no less so.
President Trump suggested using America's cities as a training ground for the U.S. military.
And Secretary Hegseth railed against what he called fat generals and admirals, wokeness in the military, service members with beards, beardos he called them, and said male-level physical fitness standards will be required for combat. Anyone who does not like all of this, Hegseth said, can leave.
And for a president used to cheers at his political speeches and adulation from those who work for him, today was different. Charlie D'Agata joins us from the Pentagon.
Very different in so many ways, John. Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Dan Kane started the meeting by saying it was unprecedented, the scale of senior military officers, what he called the first leaders all call. No one was sure quite what to expect in what turned into a political rally. Nearly 800 of America's top military leaders were summoned from around the globe, apolitical officers who remained silent as their commander-in-chief took the stage and offered this greeting.
You can leave.
And I think the other guy was saying, in the Occupy Democrats or whatever, he was kind of saying something like, what better thing than to let the world know that all of our top officials will be in one place? What better time to strike? But they didn't. Okay? Anyway, which is what my initial thought was when it was said, but that ain't what happened. Okay?
You leave the room. course, there goes your rank, there goes your future.
That set the tone for more awkward moments to come, including the president's suggestion that dangerous U.S. cities like those where National Guard are currently deployed should be used as training grounds for U.S. troops.
This is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
Illinois Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, an Iraq War veteran, said Trump's proposal is illegal
and unconstitutional. You cannot deploy our military onto the streets of our cities.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth opened the meeting and ripped into diversity.
And if I can find that other video after this one, from the right-wing perspective, I believe, and they said it's not. I think I know where it's at, but if I can find it, Lord willing, I'll add it to this.
The initiatives put in place by previous administrations.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions.
That includes, he said, a return to the highest male physical fitness standards.
I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men.
And he took aim at the highest ranking officers.
It's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
Vermont Democrat Peter Welch said the meeting was unnecessary and a bad idea.
It's a further effort to politicize the military. It's very, very alarming. There is no reason to bring all of these people at enormous taxpayer expense to Washington to get a pep talk.
Hegseth told the audience they could disagree with him, but
the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink. Then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
Charlie, we did not hear any reaction from the generals and the admirals in the room. Take us through why that's the case.
See what he says.
Well, Maurice, it's part of the decorum of protocol for officers not to applaud or cheer during political events or even some rallies. But while there were a few smiles, a bit of laughter here and there to some of the things that President Trump was saying, some polite applause, for the most part, the room was silent through roughly 2 hours of speeches.
Charlie, the secretary...
Okay, so let's see if I can find the other video. You can check the rest of this. You can see what it's called, so on and so forth.
For every loudmouth leftist telling our troops to remember their oath, stop pretending you know what you're talking about. Here's what the oath actually says. I do solemnly swear that I support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It goes on to say that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and I will obey the orders of the officers appointed over me according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Now, that was what we heard in the movie The Siege. He implored the people, hey, don't do this. Don't send the American military, the army, into an American city. It will be loud, noisy, and brutal, but the job will get done. To roughly paraphrase what he said, what it was played by Bruce Willis in the movie.
That's it. That's the mission. Not to obey the governor, not to side with the mob, and not to do whatever the mayor says. It's about protecting the Constitution and this country, even when weak leadership refuses to do so. So when the President of the United States sends the National Guard to go shut down the chaos in LA, and you start crying about tyranny and martial law, guess what? The military's job isn't to make you comfortable. It's to protect this country when local officials fail. Looting, fires, assault, destruction. That's not protest. That's lawlessness. And if you think defending that makes you some kind of hero, you're the one who forgot what this country stands for, not them. Our troops are not violating the oath. They're upholding it. Because unlike you, they actually took it. Stop using the oath like a political weapon when you have no idea what it means. Our service members are out there doing what needs to be done. You don't have to like it, but you will respect it.
Okay, so put all this together and you see the perspectives. The country's divided. It will raise up civil war, right? Putting the matter of fact, let me get that in Isaiah 19 in the GNT. All right, it says, the Lord says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt. Come on. Okay, and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. Rival cities will fight each other, and rival kings will struggle for power. Okay, this is what's going on in America. This is all part of the fall of Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon, aka America. Okay, which will crumble the system of the Edomites. Also, all right, it's going to crumble the system of the Edomites. That's what's going on here. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it here. There should be another video, but when he said, Lord calls thy mighty ones to come down, I will add that in, a small piece of that, but I'll try to get into that as I get more time tonight or tomorrow.
This is a star. This is a galaxy. And this is a new object discovered by the Rubin Observatory's Space and Time mission. Here's another new. Here, as you can see, they back the camera up, and you can see it's literally a swarm headed towards Earth. They literally turned this thing on for like 10 hours. And in a 10-hour period, they saw over 2,000 objects flying in a swarm, looking like they have intelligence to it. And everybody's wondering why all the governments and the militaries and everybody's coming together, having all these secret meetings and surprise meetings. And none of this is on the news. None of this is on the news. None of this Atlas, Swan, Lemon, none of it's on the news. And it's like, this is major news. Why is it on the news? And if you're wondering how they did this new telescope takes a video of the night sky every couple of days. And over a 10-year period, it will make a complete video of the entire universe. This is called. And now they turn on this telescope and they see a literal swarm surrounding. They literally turn this thing on for like 10 hours. And in a 10-hour period, they saw over 2,000 objects flying in a swarm, looking like they have intelligence to it. And everybody's wondering why all the governments and the military.
So I'm going to end it there, Lord willing, is edifying. You know, because we know that this is Yahweh Shai and the angels coming. Okay, to join that battle. And so I'll try to get into that from Second Esdras. All right, war in heaven and all of that. So Lord willing, as edifying, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh Shai, to the next one. Shalom.